Hello BookTube, this is Weekly Reads. I'm doing another early weekly reads. Normally I film this video later in the afternoon, but today is one of those days where my week's reading will start on Friday instead of on Saturday because of not having anything to read yesterday. So I haven't been making videos as much this week as I would like to. Ideally, would like to make about 6 videos a week. One video Monday through Thursday, and then 2 on Friday, because I usually do weekly reads again later in the afternoon. But this week was one of those weeks that didn't quite turn out how I had hoped. There were no new tags this week. I think I'm going to try to correct that next week and the week after, because I think I'm going to do some original tags if I think the next few weeks. So the tag I wanted to do, the tag necromancy, it didn't quite work out. But it did give me an idea for an original tag that probably would make a bit more sense. And then I had 2 discussion videos I wanted to do, and neither one of those panned out, which is typical. I set my mind on doing a discussion video and it just doesn't work out. So I usually abandon them, and that's normally if I don't have a video up. It's probably why the discussion video I wanted to make didn't turn out. And yesterday I went to watch the 4 Children of the Apocalypse, my 2 nieces and 2 nephews, because my newest niece, my 3rd niece, had her 1-year checkup yesterday. Yesterday was her 1st birthday, and so they took her to see the doctor, and me and my mom watched the 4 Children of the Apocalypse. They were okay. They had lunches that were not anticipated by their father, but that was awesome. But anyway, so yeah, and also as a bonus, I finally got my hair cut. So yeah, very happy about that. Not quite so much the Gorgon anymore. Anyway, but on to weekly reads. So I spent the last days of July reading Tolaban Hanako-kun by AidaIro. So I started last Friday and I finished on Monday. So I read volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, which is the newest release, which came out late last month. I did not reread Volume 0, which is basically the pilot manga or the pilot one-shot and pilot or one-shot for another series, which, yeah, so I avoided this one. But I had to pull it down anyway because where I have Toilet-Bound Hanako-kun on my shelves, if I take too many books off, it's going to want to tip over and fall off, and it's a very high fall, and I don't want to ruin the books because I had enough trouble collecting them as it is. So anyway, so Toilet-Bound Hanako-kun is a manga series that is part comedy, part horror, part high school romance. So it's about a young woman, Nene Yashiro, who goes to a school that is quite haunted. She's told that if she goes to a specific stall, performs a set ritual, she will be able to summon the spirit known as the Toilet-Bound Hanako-san and be granted a wish. Nene goes to the stall, performs the ritual, and summons Hanako-san. However, unlike the traditional form of the Toilet-Bound Hanako-san ghost, this particular version is not the ghost of a young woman, but a young man, Amane Yugi. So using Japanese honorifics, he's more appropriately called Hanako-kun, hence the title. So Hanako-kun grants Nene her wish. It goes incredibly poorly. Nene has a crush on an upperclassman named Teru Minamoto, and she basically wants her wish. Her wish is basically that he would fall in love with her. It goes poorly, not necessarily because it has any effect on Teru, but because Nene basically eats one of a pair of mermaid scales, which, as part of the curse, turns her into a fish if she's in water. And also basically bounds you to the mermaid whose scales you just ate, which is a bit of a recurring storyline in the early chapters. Hanako-kun rescues Nene from the consequences of her wish, and in exchange, Nene becomes his assistant, initially just cleaning the bathrooms, but later helping Amane in his duties of regulating the relationships between the living and the supernatural at the school. There are 7 school mysteries who basically, or their purpose is to maintain the balance between the living and the supernatural at the school, and there are a number of other lesser hauntings as well. And Hanako-kun, as the 7th, has a bit of an authority over the other 6, even though he is the youngest of the 7. So Hanako-kun and Nene are later joined by Ko Minamoto, the younger brother of Teru, who is Nene's crush, who is a young trainee exorcist. His brother is pretty much a professional exorcist. How he has time to do anything is beyond me, which actually becomes part of a hilarious arc later on in the series. But anyway, so initially, Ko tries to exorcise Hanako-kun because he's been told by his brother to take care of the school hauntings. He fails and gradually becomes very close friends with Nene and Hanako-kun to the point where in the 2nd volume he has, and actually throughout the series, there's increasing tension between the 2 brothers. Because Ko begins to see Hanako as a friend and is unwilling to exercise him, even though there are points where very much it is warranted. Hanako-kun, while at times has the best of intentions, sometimes his methods are morally ambiguous. And there's also the fact that he did kill his twin brother Tsukasa when they were mortal. Although Tsukasa was a psychotic little shit. And we'll get to that psychotic little shit later. But yeah, so basically the three work together to maintain the balance between the living and the supernatural. There are a group, the Broadcasting Club at the school, who are working with Tsukasa, who himself is a ghost, to manipulate the rumors, the stories told about the various supernaturals, making them more malevolent, more malicious. And these altered supernaturals begin to target the students. And it forces our heroes to remove, particularly the other seven, the other of the seven, from their positions, which causes its own bits of chaos later on. But I love this series so much. There are a number of story arcs that usually don't last a whole lot. I mean, this is a monthly series, so the story arcs are consequently shorter, usually about a few chapters. A few get to be maybe an entire volume's length of material, or maybe even 2 or 3, depending. But yeah, it is so fun. I mean, there's the mix of humor and horror and just really the character development and the character interactions. It is just, this series can and will put you in an emotional ringer. It is so much. So yeah, I'm going to show you some pictures here. So that's that, or some images. Oh, I really want to show you the one from the Misaki Stairs arc. That is wonderful artwork. So some of my favorite arcs are really like the 4 p.m. book stacks. It's really cool. It introduces the fifth school mystery, Tsuchikamori, who pretends to be a teacher at the school. He's this figure here. And then, of course, there's the heartbreaking Mitsuba arc in Volume 4 that just ends brutally. So there's Mitsuba, who's a young ghost. Who spends a day with Ko, and then they sort of spend a day or two becoming close friends, and it ends brutally, which is largely why Tsukasa is a psychotic little shit. But the ending of the arc is just heartbreaking. Just completely heartbreaking. Yeah. Even flipping through, it still affects me. I also like the Hell of Mirrors arc, which sees a version of Mitsuba come back, and he replaces the third mystery, which is really cool. And that, and because it is wonderful. And the second school mystery, here's a little fox statue. She can be hilarious. And there's that. Just, I love this series so much. The art is wonderful. And then there's the long picture perfect arc where Nene and Ko are trapped in a mirror universe, basically, and he by the fourth school mystery, who basically draws and creates fictional worlds, and they basically Ko and Nene have been trapped alongside Mitsuba, or the new Mitsuba, and Amane, who seem to both be alive. And it is heartrending. The sort of emotional, the relationship between Ko and Mitsuba and Nene and Amane, particularly when it's revealed earlier that Nene has a limited lifespan, and that a lot of this is Amane trying to figure out ways to save Nene's life. And it's wonderful. And there are so many wonderful moments something like that. It's great. And then after the picture perfect arc, the other great one is the school. Basically, at the end of the school year, Nene's grade has a sleepover. And on that day, the sixth school mystery makes a move to basically clear out the supernaturals. And that leads to the Severance, where all of the supernaturals have been banished to the far side, to the not quite afterworld. And Nene, Ko, one of Nene's classmates, Akane, and Teru work to kind of bring the supernaturals back. And that is it's some wonderful moments in that one. Just some wonderful moments. So this series is amazing, and I cannot wait for more. But let me show you some images. Oh yeah, here's Teru basically having a day off, and who knows how long. Basically, the Minamotos are professional exorcists, and Teru is very good. So, I mean, although one of the several issues for that he's developed, besides not having any free time, is that he's developed a bigotry towards supernaturals, all supernaturals, even those that don't really deserve to be exercised. He's very much bigot in that way. And that is one of the conflicts between him and Ko, is that Ko does not have that mindset. Given that one of his best friends two of his best friends are supernatural. One of those likely more than a best friend. And it is just, yeah, and that right there. It's so interesting. Oh yeah, and there's this scene, a few chapters where they meet Mitsuba's mother, and that is just heartrending. There's that. The Red House, which is an amazing arc. Just, and then I had a blast with these 18 volumes, and I cannot wait for more. Because I cannot wait for volumes 19 and 20 to come out. I know volume 19 is coming out later this year, I think in December, and sometime early next year probably, or mid 2024, volume 20 should be coming out, hopefully. But it's kind of difficult to get like when exactly like the pre-orders, because I do like to pre-order this series. And I pre-order them through PALS, which isn't as up or as quick to give the pre-order option compared to, say, Amazon or even Book People. But anyway, I'll talk a bit about that later. But anyway, so that was Taliban Hanako-kun, which was by far the highlight of my reading week. So on Tuesday and Wednesday, I started my August reading. Now, last week I made a video in which I had I discussed some issues I'm having with my August plans, which is that I wanted to do two reading projects of Garbagus, which is rather popular, which has become a popular event. It's in its second year, created by Criminali, and in which participants read garbage fiction in the month of August, and also my own back to school reading project, in which I basically read various works inspired by school subjects. I really wasn't that enthusiastic with what I had, either for my back to school project or Garbagus. So I largely decided to just do whatever I wanted. And I don't quite know exactly how my reading this month is going to go, because I'm not working off of a set plan. There might be some bits of what I had wanted to read for Garbagus or back to school, which will come into play, but I'm not necessarily planning for anything. But that could change too. But so the two works that I read for the first two things I read in August, sorry about that weird phrasing. I did have planned for back to school, and these are both part of Women in Translation Month. So I read on Tuesday The Poetess Counts to 100 and Bows Out by Enriqueta Teran, translated by Marcel Smith. So this is selected collection of the work of Enriqueta Teran, who was a Venezuelan poet. She died about 5 years or so ago, give or take. And I picked this up for the Back to School project and for Women in Translation Month. And I think, well, I liked a few of the poems in this collection. I don't think I'm a big fan of her work. And that is true of Night Journey by Maria Negroni, translated by Twitty. there are a few poems in this collection that I liked. So Maria Negroni is an Argentinian poet. So there were a few poems I liked, but for the most part, they didn't really do anything for me. So yesterday, I didn't read anything because I went over to my brother's to watch the Four Children of the Apocalypse. And by the time I got back, I basically had only enough time to cook supper. So anyway. So today I'm going to start on A View with a Grain of Sand by Wislawa Szymborska. This is one of my favorite poetry collections. It's been a while since I've read it, and I really want to read it today and into this weekend. I think I should be able to, so I'll read it today and most of tomorrow, and I think that should finish it off and give me time to go to a party, because tomorrow is my niece's first birthday party, as well as the 9th birthday of War, one of the Four Children of the Apocalypse. So it's also his party. So me and my mom will be going to that. Hopefully the focus is equally split between the two, and War does not feel left out, because he has been sensitive about that on occasion, and prone to throwing tantrums about that. So anyway. And then on Sunday, I think I'm going to read Less Than Zero by Bret Easton Ellis, which is one of the books I had slated for Garb August. So Less Than Zero is about a college student who goes home to Los Angeles for a school break and gets back in the rather toxic scene that he had been a part of. I have a mixed reading relationship with Bret Easton Ellis. There's a part of me that really wants to like his work, and I just don't, or I haven't. So I'm going to give him a bit of a go, and also maybe Dennis Cooper if I still feel like it, and see what I make of it. And then I think on Monday, and over the course of the work week, and however long it takes me before I finish, I'm going to read A Holy Madness by Adam Zamoyski. So this is a history of, I guess, the late 18th and early 19th centuries. And I'm kind of looking forward to it. I've been meaning to read Zamoyski's work for a while, and so I hope I like it. And if I change my mind about what I read over the course of this reading week, then I'll report back next weekly reads. Anyway, so there's that. This video went a little bit longer than I anticipated. Of course, that's what happens when I talk about manga, because I do go on at length. So this coming week, there's going to be another video today because the Kundal long list was announced, and I'm going to make a reaction video to that. Hopefully it don't go nearly as long, because that'll take away other things I wanted to do, but we shall see. It'll be fun. I think on Monday I'm going to do an original tag video, and then do another tag video on Tuesday if there's a new one, or maybe actually try to do some tag necromancy, and then try to do some discussion videos, as much as they don't actually turn out, but I'll try, and anything else that comes to mind. So anyway, BookTube, I'll see you in a few with my reaction to the Kundal long list. So until then, thank you, have a great afternoon, and stay safe. And also have a great weekend. And see you on Monday. Bye, BookTube.